So it is March 13th of 2022. My name is Michelle Alcorn, and I think a lot of us know each other. And it is Atlantic Canada Cooks Week 84. And we couldn't be more excited to be airing from Puerto Natales, Chile. And for everybody in the world, that is in the Patagonia region. We should grab a map. And it's down at the very bottom, just above Antarctica. So I know the time changed in Canada today, but in this region of the world, we don't ever change the time. And it has to do a lot with the daylight. We'll get Marcelo to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. I am so excited to have guests with me in my kitchen. I know Joan is trying to get my mom logged in. So I know that we're having some challenges. Normally, my mom, Helen, is beside me in the kitchen. She was excited to sit back today and have an opportunity. So I have these lovely ladies that are going to be with me this morning in the kitchen. And we have some incredible recipes, some Chilean inspired dishes so that we can explore what's going on. And in typical style, we have many ingredients that we brought with us from Atlantic Canada. So we're going to do a little fusion food. We're really excited to have a guest chef today. Mark Surratt is joining, and we love, he's going to say Mark. And the best part of this is going to be he's going to talk to us about some really great authentic oyster recipes that are readily available in Atlantic Canada. And he works closely with the Bactouche Farmers Market. And for all of our regular guests knows, I had the opportunity to make a live appearance out there and going to be doing that again this year. So we can't wait to be able to have that opportunity. And our theme is farmers markets. So, and yesterday we had an amazing tour. So if you check out our Facebook page, you'll see the amazing markets, fresh places. We're going to get Marcelo. We've got fresh local bread that we're going to be using today. This one's gluten-free. Definitely would love this recipe for home. We're going to make a really great traditional sandwich that you have here, like a panini sandwich, readily available. When you walk by beautiful markets, you always see big displays of them. And a completo, which is a really fancy, wonderful hot dog with a lot of incredible ingredients on it. Very traditional here as well. And we're going to be talking a little bit about what's this dish?
Porotos. Porotos granados is beans. It's the way we make. We eat beans in many ways, and we have different types of beans too. But this is porotos granados.
Let's jump into my laptop.
Yeah,
we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then we're going to be making a brand new recipe with some grilled zucchini, basil, and we're going to make
cannelloni zucchini.
It's like a zucchini cannelloni. So we're excited about that with the fresh local ingredients. And we're going to be checking out Jacqueline's spring rolls. We love seeing Jacqueline's Vietnamese recipes with a great local market. And we often talk about our farmers market in Lunenburg. It is absolutely spectacular. And I think it's been about 85 years that it's been going. And it's Jacqueline and Richard had an incredible tour every Thursday morning for that one, Mark. In Lunenburg is when that market is. And Jacqueline and Richard had a great tour there. And she's going to tell us a little bit about that. And she's going to share her amazing spring rolls. So we're going to get started and get cooking because I think that that's what it's going to be all about. So Mark, I'm going to invite you to kick us off with your recipes so we can hear a little bit more about what's going on from you and tell us a little bit more about your farmers market story. And I know he's got some incredible ingredients and he's going to tell us a little bit about where those ingredients are from in addition to that. So Mark, I'm going to turn that over to you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I've been following you for a while, Michelle. I know that we met a couple of years ago before pandemic and all that stuff. We're super excited to have the markets be the focal point of tourism again. Our markets survived the last 2 years, like most of us, became kind of a community area. I saw a lot of people just getting together. They hadn't seen each other for a year or during the winter months. So that, to me, is what a market means. I want to give a great big shout out to Lori Jorowski from the Charlottetown Farmers Market. Yesterday, she did close to 3,000 pierogies, which she gave away. And this was to raise money for the Ukrainian war, obviously. I'm not sure her total yet. I think it's around the $5,000 or $6,000, but an amazing person, an amazing job, and an amazing market. If you ever have a chance to go to Charlottetown, one of the flagship markets in our country, definitely stop by. Other markets that we've been participating with, of course, you look at where I've worked in this country, Montreal, the Atwater market, the Jean Talon market also, and in Vancouver, you have a huge market all in the waterfront, the Pike Street Market in Seattle. So obviously this is the great part. I want everyone to get their ovens going at 350 degrees if we can do a preheat. And get your stove top going. And I'm using just a cast iron pan. And what we're going to do first is we're just going to sear off our pork fat. Okay, so this is a pork belly, right? So you can get it from the butcher shop. Usually it's about an inch thick, a lot of fat on it. Just a little, make sure you get some of the meat on it too, right? And all we're going to do is get a nice pan going, just a little bit of heat.
Mark, I just want to, Scott asked a question. Did you say that it was a market this Saturday in Charlottetown? And hello, Badir from Morocco.
Yeah, it was yesterday. She did the, every Saturday is the market in Charlottetown. Right? They're kind of like us, the same day, Saturday. They have arts and crafts, but a lot of food in their markets if you've never been there. And during the summer months, obviously, it's the Garden of the Gulf. That's the name of the island. Obviously, you have everything everywhere. A lot of good trades. A huge German background in Prince Edward Island people are not aware of. Ukrainian also. Here I have the searing happening. And with the sear, you just get the colors going. The longer you sear, the better the color. Don't worry, it's all fat. So you want to render that off as most as you can. So once that's seared off, I just take my mustard. So I just have like a grainy style mustard and then just a Dijon. And all you need to do to that is as your pan is heating, you just get, this is just one piece. So I just put enough grainy mustard, like a tablespoon, just to cover it. And then about the same amount of regular mustard Dijon. Of course, that gives you all that flavor and coloring. So while that's searing, let's talk about some different stocks you could do, right? So here, obviously, there's the commercial ones, right, that are just derivatives. So the vegetable stocks. Here, also another alternative for a stock would be the mushrooms. So you could use the dehydrated mushrooms, soak those overnight, and we'll give you a nice stock. You can use citrus juice because you're using this type of oysters and so on. So you can use an orange or you can use lemons. In that also, I've chosen to go with a beef one, which is just a broth. It'll enhance some of the salt that I wanted to get into it because I haven't seasoned this other than the mustard, right? There's no salt or pepper. So once that's going on, all you need to do is just top off so that you're just level with the meat, right? So you're not overpowering, you're not trying to make a soup, and you want to get this reduced. So you either reduce it from the stove top or you can reduce it from the oven. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to transfer it over to the oven and I'm going to go get the one that's already finished. And here's our end product, right? So basically each piece has been braised up inside the braising. So the braising method, once it reduces, I go back and I top it off again if I don't get the consistency I want. I might do this 3 or 4 times depending on the thickness of your pork. Okay? Obviously, this can all be put away. You can just do bacon. So keep it simple. Even just a piece of ham if you want, and you want to season it with mustard or you want to season it with a fruit or any type of stock that you want to impart into it. Okay? So it doesn't necessarily have to be pork or any kind of that, but any kind of meat that you want to impart into it. Okay? So that's the braising process. Once that's done, just want to show you a quick way. There, we're going to get our mustard out of our way here. So these are oysters, and they're coming from, there's an area just outside of 15 minutes from my back door, in fact, right here. And Village Bay out of Rishabukto, they have all sections of oysters from the selects. The ones that I have here are nice select ones. I have 6 left because I already provided. In this crate, there would be 12, and they were about $1.20, $1.10 a piece. So that's really a great price for, local and so on. During the season, you might get them down to 60 cents, depending on the volume of what's going out of the water. Here, there's another company called Beau Séjour. They are more on the Asian markets. They do recall from Canada, so Village does provide Beau Séjour some of their stock. Bouctouche has another bay. Prince Edward Island has tons, Nova Scotia, and they're all local to the area and all have that great flavor. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get my honey poached going. And this is very simple. You're just replacing honey for water. So I take my honey, I pop it in. It's gotten to a boiling stage. Once it starts to boil, what I'll do is I'll just shuck my oysters and pop it right in. So I'm going to get this going. If you want to get your honey inside your pot, you just get it up to a boil. And now I'm going to show you a few tricks. Anybody here ever opened oysters? Has everyone? Yeah, so it's a little tricky. How's the fingers and the hands? Everything kind of works. I'll show you a trick how to protect yourself. It's very simple. You just take a cloth and you would take the cloth, put your hand down, and then pinch. There we go. Pinch the oyster in between the cloth, so you're protecting your hand on this side. It's always nice to have an oyster knife with a nice big lip on it so that your fingers are being protected all the time. You go to the very tip of the oyster where it all kind of meets, and then you have to shovel the knife inside there to get that first crack. But once it's open, I want to save the juice that's in it too, right? So once I got it open, pop it in. Look at the size of this thing. It's huge. They're just full, right? So once that's there.
Wow, Mark, you couldn't have planned that better. It was like, woo, the gift was inside the shell.
So now my honey's already boiled. Like it's just frothing. There's nothing spectacular about it. It's just the honey. It's got that nice smell. It's filling up the house. It's incredible how the smell is. Now, there they are. So now what I want to do with my oysters, I don't want to put the liquid inside because it's just going to bubble up. So with a fork, I'll grab my oysters and just kind of plop them in. 1, 2, 3. Just plop them in. In they go. And off. That's it. I don't need to cook them any more than that. Right? It's in and out because they're going to finish inside the shell. So another little trick I want to show you. To keep your oysters level so you don't lose any of your cooking juice. Take your roasting pan, frying pan, whatever you're going to use. Tin foil at the bottom. Right? Just like that. And then you can nestle the oysters, shell and all, right in there. And it kind of does right. So you don't lose any of your sauces. So here, I've already got it set up.
What a great idea. I am definitely going to take that one.
That's just, yeah. In the kitchens, you would have egg cartons also, you know, the big egg cartons. You would use those if you're doing different things. We use those as our fingers to hold things, especially when you're doing mass production, right? So now the oysters, nice and clean, the shell, beautiful. You pop that in there. Okay, so our first thing to do, now we pour our honey off and see the oysters. Oh, they're just sitting there. They're just sitting in the honey. You can eat them right from there. You don't even need anything else, but leave them just aside. Now we're going to get our braise, right? Pork, we're just going to put those right there. And then the last piece that we're going to saute off is we're going to get our spinach and cream our spinach just to put the bottom, and it's going to kind of tie all those vinegars and honeys and everything together. Okay, so get our frying pan. Ouch, there it is. Boom. Sorry about that. So this is really quick too. All you need to do, get your spinach, right? So I just use regular nice washed spinach in the season, right? There's my frying pan. I'm going to use a little bit of garlic to give it that garlic flavor. Garlic, honey, bacon. Geez, you don't need to do anything else, right? There we go. Other alternatives, if seafood or shellfish is not what you're looking for, asparagus, right? So you can poach a nice asparagus. You can get that braised pork on top of it, and then finish them off in the oven. Get them going, and then a little bit of cheese, a little bit of cream sauce. It would work perfectly if you're looking at that vegetarian style of meal. So here I'm just gonna sear this off. All I'm doing is just running my knife through the spinach so I get a consistent, it won't be leafy. I want it to be nice. I'm just gonna peel one of my bulbs of garlic, there. And I'm gonna give it a quick slice. Now, in our pan, it's nice and hot. We're just getting a little bit of oil going. Now I'm just gonna do my garlic. And I don't like chopping it up much more than that. I'd rather have it just nice and sliced. Gives me like a chip flavor, not too dark. And you know what they say about garlic? Doesn't matter how much you like it, it's about your partner. Make sure she's okay or he's okay with having all that garlic in the house. It's a plate you definitely have to share, right? So here we go. Spinach. Put the spinach in. And that's just sauteing. Already it's breaking down. Okay. Add a little bit of cream, 35%. Now bring it all together. Right? That's all I'm doing here. Nice and creamy. A little bit of peppercorns, give it seasoning, salt. But the garlic and the cream, that reduction is coming down. All I have to do after that, right, is take a spoonful with the cream. I try to get it as soft as I can. I put it in the bottom. Now we've all done our braise, and that could be done the day before or a week if it's a weekend crew that's coming over. And then take your braised pork, and I slice it on the bias. Okay, so I'm getting a nice sliver. Oh, it's tender already. It's falling apart. Right, and I just put a nice sliver of bacon on top. Then I'll get my oysters out. Put that big fat oyster on top of that, right? Then get my oysters on the other ones. There. They're still soft. I don't want them to look like the canned oysters. I don't want them all smoked. So that there's still going to be some cooking period done. I can even put a little bit of honey on each one, right? Just to give it that flavor. The cream is underneath, the cream spinach with the garlic, giving us that other flavor. And then what we're going to do, I used white cheddar, but Gruyere would work, Swiss would work. You know, even the hot pepper cheese, something with with peppers put into it. You could definitely get this spiced up, sweet and hot. So that's basically the pre-oven, right? So it's in the shell. These can be done like last night, and the company's coming over tomorrow morning, and they're just in the fridge. And while you're finishing off your dinner, you can pop these out with a couple of glasses of wine, a few beers, something like that on the patio while everybody's getting ready for dinner. And all I have to do now is pop it in the oven, 350. And here it is. So the final plate, right? So it's just an oyster and a nice gratinated cheese on top, nice and smoky. You slurp one of these, you're done. And you just probably go very well with some of those sandwiches you guys are going to be doing today. A great
Absolutely.
starter, a great way to start the evening. So awesome. As I said, like the Buckfish Market, we're really focused on the shellfish aspect of our tourism, I guess, or our marketing. This summer, we'll be hosting again our Crustaceous Festival. Annie and I will be putting on a spread and 2 nights of shows. It'll be a week-long event, but there'll be 2 nights of degustations or feeding people and getting people out there. We're talking about doing a Thursday night, just a street vendor at the market. So we would do street food and bring people in with our vendors and so on. So we're looking forward to this spring, just as everyone else. So thank you very much. Hopefully everybody will get that. I did push the recipe over to you, Michelle. So if the group wants to, and yeah, I'm gonna hang out with you guys and go from there.
Please do.
Oh yeah.
Cheers.
Any questions? Anybody have any questions?
I have a comment. Your tips and your tricks with how to make something that I think is some people feel is a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
You made that simplified, easy. I'm excited that we can rewatch that video because I was prepping something when you were doing the braising piece. I thought, oh, I want to hear about that. But I want to ask one question. When you put the honey, was it strictly the straight honey in the pot? There was nothing else but honey, right? So once it heated up, it goes to that nice liquid consistency. Exactly. Wonderful. Have not used that before. That's a great cooking tip to use for other things.
Yeah, and like Brian, our honey guy, he can bring me honey with clover or blueberries or different flavors during the season where he puts his bees. It's phenomenal what he puts together. So, and I'm sure there's local guys everywhere. So take advantage.
Well, I'll tell you, Jacqueline's going to share some of our local honey guy, Jason in Lunenburg, is very, very incredible. And he's also does pottery, does a lot of different things.
Right.
We use his honey a lot. And I know Richard and Jacqueline spent some time talking to him this Thursday. So, but honey is so prevalent in Atlantic Canada. And we love to tell that to our international guests that honey and maple, I'd say Canada, Atlantic Canada is the sweetest place in the world because you can come and get so many natural sweet things here and they're very, very readily available. And like Mark said, they're available in a lot of different types of flavors. And I know there's one I get from Prince Edward Island and it's a clover honey and it's just unbelievable. And that has to do with specific seasons. So I'm hoping I was a foster bee parent last year, Mark. I fostered a beehive from Angela at Funny Farms Fresh Local Harvest. So I think the bees are going to be back hanging out in my backyard again this year.
Right on, yeah.
Really
I've worked with Brian on bee projects also. So yeah, we have like 6 or 7 in just my area. Myself, I haven't had a chance to get involved as I'm always running around all summers, and it is work. It's a great hobby, but it needs attention, right? Just like anything.
It does. So Mark, we're going to get on with a few more recipes that we've got going here.
Yeah.
So we'll ask, and I'm going to go get my charger cable for my laptop, or was it's plugged in next to the bed in there. If you can grab that out. I just noticed my battery's not holding. Oh. I am going to show you Marcella. Bring the camera over. Say hi. Show us what you're doing.
Hello, how are you doing? Well, we are doing zucchini cannelloni.
Yep.
We are already grilling it. Here, take a look. We're doing this. Grilling the slices of zucchini.
Note to self, cut the slices thin.
Yes.
I did the prep on that. Marcella said I had to divide them a little bit.
Yeah, but they're soft anyways. Just we have to make sure that we don't grill it too much so they don't fall apart.
Right. Yeah, right. So one of the things and very traditional here in Chile is lunch is a bigger meal. So we're getting ready to feed our wonderful family here. So we're going to put this wonderful dish so that when they get up and we get going on our day today, later on, we'll have a nice big lunch. So tell us a little bit more what's going to go in this dish.
I think we need to put some tomato here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to start. I'm going to set this down for a minute. It's kind of nice for me to be able to do mobile and have extra cooks in my kitchen. So we've put some oil in the bottom of a nice baking dish here, as you're going to see. And what we're adding is we've got a beautiful tomato mixture. You could use a tomato sauce that you would make in advance. We're using one that we can get here locally. So just a thin layer on the bottom of the pan is all that's needed. And then we're going to assemble. We're going to roll and assemble. So we picked up, so inside we're going to put some beautiful basil that we picked up at the market yesterday. In addition to that, we've got this great cheese. So this is a queso. I'm not gonna.
Mantecoso, which means that's very easy to melt.
Easy to melt. See, she sounds with her accent sounds so much better than when I say it. So we've got this in here. So what's going to happen? So we're going to see if we can get it. And Mark, I want to show you this. I did put you on mute, Mark, just the way it records. So if you want to unmute and speak, you can. But check this garlic out, guys. So this might be the size of the clove of garlic we're used to. So we have a rule on Cooking Club that we say if the recipe calls for 1, you always use 2. I'm not sure if this advice with this particular one.
Like 4 or 5.
It's like 4 or 5. So we're going to roast some of these up. We've sliced some a little bit thin that's going to be going in, but we had to show these incredible.
That garlic comes from Chiloé. Chiloé is one of the biggest islands in Chile. It's actually the 3rd island, the biggest island. The biggest is Tierra del Fuego, the one that's near Antarctica. Then there's Isla Riesco, and then Chiloé. And lots of people come from Chiloé. And it's very famous here, very popular with tourists also. It's a must. Easter Island, Chiloé, Patagonia, those are the must when you come to Chile. Welcome. We are waiting for you. We are open. And that garlic comes from there. And lots of 200 types of potatoes that they have to.
200 types of potatoes.
200 types of potatoes.
We had some amazing potatoes. We're going to post some pictures. We had a very, very traditional Chilean birthday party at Marcella's parents with her cat for her nephew. And wait till you see the barbecue that we had with that. So we'll post some videos on that later. It was, we say, the feast de carne. And it was really amazing to be able to go through it. So what we're going to be doing is the girls are going to get these rolled up. So we're going to be, I'm going to need to move this over.
It's a cheese.
Piece of cheese. Cheese coming in.
We're going to put,
so this is in slices, but we're rolling it so it's a little chunk. A basil leaf.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the basil leaf and I'm just going to wrap my cheese in the basil. So I have a little basil and cheese pocket. And then I was going to say, I'm going to hold this up and you want to do a roll?
Yep.
So watch Marcella.
Maybe we can put.
Oh, we're going to put a few mushrooms in. So
Yeah.
she's putting a few mushrooms on and there.
And then we're going to roll it. Ooh, it's hot.
That was,
I should have chosen another one.
we should have chosen a less hot one. All right. Watch though.
Yeah.
Roll that right on. And we're gonna do another one that's, oh there. How about this one, Marcella?
That was too thin. Yeah.
There. This
That's
one's
perfect.
there. All right, we're gonna roll one more.
Yep.
It's your cheese ball. There we go.
Thicker. We have the basil leaf. And we can put.
She's gonna put the mushrooms in it this time. And that's a good idea because you know what, then they won't fall out.
There
There
we
we
go.
Let's set the next one in and we're gonna show you what it's gonna start to look like. Here we go. You guys can build that. So while they're building this, I'm gonna show you. See as it starts to come into the pan? So we'll roll to fill this whole pan all the way through. So I'm gonna turn over to my sous chefs here as they get rolling. This is really nice. And missing my mom. My mom was on, Helen. We're gonna see in the video, and then she lost her Wi-Fi and power. So my mother is in Riverview. No, Riverdale is now lost power.
So it's Nasha.
So Nasha was out of power, but we're so great to see Nasha from Anna Ganesh in here. So as the girls are getting these together, I'm gonna pull together our completos. So we're gonna show you that other finished dish here in a few minutes. We're not gonna be cooking that dish because we're gonna save it and cook it in a few hours when we have our nice big family lunch. Mark, thank you so much for doing the prep that you did to show us the before and after. So we chose a few things. So this is a beautiful giant hot dog bun, just like we would be able to get at home. Nice, fresh, fresh, fresh. So one of the tips sometimes we like to do, because we're going to put a lot in this, I'm going to take some of the bun out of the middle. And Catalina was doing this the other day, our wonderful Catalina. She'll be doing chicken marsala next Saturday. She volunteered herself for that. They're laughing because we taught them a new word, because we were trying voluntold. So we were doing new words down here. So basically she started talking about a recipe and it sounded so good. I said, it's chicken next Sunday. And Catalina, I think you're gonna make that. So I've carved out the bun a little bit in the middle, and I will tell you, anytime, this is a wonderful tip. So we're gonna start to build this together. Roz, can you just get rid of that for me for a second? So we have, now, obviously these are hot dogs from here. So good traditional hot dog that's been boiled. So boiled just like you normally would, nothing fancy on, I need that dish back.
That sausage comes from Valdivia. Valdivia is a beautiful city with a lovely river and sea lions around the street, crossing the street.
Sea lions crossing the street.
It's a university city too. Lots of students go there to study, and they have these wonderful products, sausages, chorizo, and salamis, and very good. That's brand. It's Yankee Way.
Oh, this one, all right.
I'll pull it up on Yankee Way. Near
So
Yankee
sandwich
Way in
roast-
Valdivia.
So this is the brand that this one is.
Yeah.
So
Very good one.
we have a lot of great meat here. I am about to use an incredibly homemade mayonnaise. Mark, if I can get this recipe before I leave, oh, you'll want to make this. So far, there's a couple of ingredients I have not been told. In it, because it's Marcella says it's Sergio's one big secret recipe. So this is a beautiful homemade mayonnaise. You could use any mayonnaise that you would want. And I do want to show, this is readily available here. And if you see, there's squeeze bags. And I'm telling you, everywhere. These, and I'll be bringing a couple of these home because they're really handy. And this is an incredible mayonnaise. So I am going to, as we love to say, slather a really good amount of this incredible mayonnaise on here, both sides of the bun. When I put, see now, look how my hot dog fits right into that spot, right? Because I curved out. Now this is where it gets fun. So very traditionally, I've got some sauerkraut here. So very much like home, different types of sauerkraut that you can get. We do warm the sauerkraut up. So the sauerkraut has been warmed up and heated up. Obviously the hot dog's hot and the bun has been just lightly toasted. Sometimes you don't have to toast the bun. It's really your decision on that. So I have this in its special dish because you can imagine how much I'm about to put into this. So I'm going to put a really good layer. Next layer that's going on here, fresh avocado. Avocados obviously extremely plentiful in this region of the world. And I will tell you about the same price as home. So anybody in Canada right now, interestingly enough, avocados are around the same price here. So we're doing really well in Canada considering they're grown in this region. So watch the amount because everybody, this is the dish that you make.
Just one thing, avocado comes from the north of Chile, so that's why it's more expensive here. But if you go to La Serena, up north from Santiago, it will be half price. It will be 2,000 pesos, which is $3, 3 Canadian dollars, 1 kilo, 1 kilogram.
Oh, wow, that's
Yes.
really fantastic.
Yes, yeah, but
Converting money's been fun while we've been here too.
very much so.
Very much so. So I now have the avocado, the sauerkraut, and we're not done yet. So the next ingredient that I'm going to be putting on is a nice layer of fresh tomatoes. And because we're here doing fusion food today, Scott, this would be the ingredient that has never been on a completo in Chile before this week. So your buffalo sauce is going to be
You're unique.
the ultimate topping on the top of this.
And I have to tell you, Scott, your buffalo sauce, they went through a full bottle already when we ate these in one night. So we need to get, we really need to supply Chile.
Yeah, and we only brought 4.
Yeah. And we gave one, and Michelle gave one to her.
Yes,
very
well,
dear friend.
Catalina and her husband Francesco. And if you look in the posting, you'll see Francesco has got a big picture of him eating that one. He ate 3. Now he is 6'7" and a basketball player, so I think he can handle it. So this is your completo. So I would take a big bite of this right now, but I think it'll be very messy. So I will definitely be having a big bite of this. So when you go and street vendors, you go into different places, food courts, if you're in a shopping mall and places, you will see completos everywhere. So this is one of these, oh, the mustard pickle sauce. Yes, Scott has made a new mustard pickle sauce, Mark. You're gonna need a bottle of that. And it is incredible. And it would taste delicious on that. What is interesting is they're not normally adding an extra sauce to it. So everybody here was loving that extra sauce.
Nice.
So, well, go ahead, Mark.
No, it's just a little bit of history on the hot dog, right? Because it's an American invention, obviously. It came out in the Chicago's World's Fair. It became a predominant food item in America. The Europeans caught wind of it, right? And then it slowly crossed the border. But it's interesting that it went south. I didn't realize that. Like, how long have you guys been doing this dish in Chile?
As long as you can remember. Always?
Yes, always.
It's a childhood.
Once a week.
Right.
It's like 1 week pizza, next week completo.
Right. And it's kind of a like the world's greatest farmers market was the World's Fair, right? So, and that's where it came from. So beautiful. Excellent farmers market food.
Yeah, and she was in the food trucks on every corner. So
Yeah.
really, really, really popular here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let Marcella present our final zucchini. They're fast.
Yeah.
They've got it ready. And then we're gonna go over to Jacqueline to see what's cooking in her kitchen and watch those gorgeous spring rolls that she's got going on.
Yeah.
So Marcella,
So-
please walk us through.
Yeah, actually we filled it with mushroom cheese, with lactose free.
Mhm.
Yeah. And what else? Oh, the leaves,
The basil.
leaves. But actually you can put so many things inside. It just
Spinach,
depends.
we
on-
discussed using
Yeah.
spinach. We discussed we could use a variety of different things in that.
So we rolled it, and then we add some Parmesan on top, and just a few decorations. There's some peppers. I love these yellow ones. And then it will go to the oven, but a little bit later because we will eat it for lunch with some chicken breast, grilled chicken breast.
Oh, and let's talk about the seasoning. Braz, want to pass it out? So we did use our fusion food with this one. We want to say thank you so much to Angela from Urban Joy, our favorite season place. So we use the farmhouse blend. Considering it's farmers markets, we're just giving an homage to all of these incredible individuals that, you know what, spend a lot of time in the fields, making sure that we have the privilege of tasting all these incredible ingredients. And we know that there's farmers markets around the world. We hope that each and one of you take the opportunity to go to the local suppliers during the pandemic. It's been hard on all of us, but our small entrepreneurs around this globe need our support more now than ever. And I know that they've gotten more efficient and doing things more uniquely, and they've created a lot of new things for us to try. So definitely want to make sure we're exploring those. I'm going to get a screen share ready for you here. And we are going to take an adventure, as I say, to Vietnam. We're going to do it from Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia. So welcome the amazing Jacqueline from Mahone Bay, who's going to share. And I have had the privilege of having her spring rolls many times, and they're absolutely spectacular. And one of the things I loved is she taught a couple of tips and tricks and things that we didn't necessarily do here from Vietnam. Please, Jacqueline.
Thank you, Michelle. Good morning, everyone. So nice to see you again here today. Before I show some tips or some tricks to do Vietnamese spring rolls, I'd like to share our experiences. Richard and I went to the market, the farmers market of Lunenburg last Thursday. And here are what we saw there. Fresh bread, some radish, bacon, radish, potatoes, homemade cakes, very, very delicious. I tried some, very delicious. And here are the alumni of ACLA. And this is the view of the market. And this is the stand of Jason. He made some handmade pottery and some fresh vegetables. And here the honey from Jason too. We are very excited. And I bought dark maple syrup from Jason too. I'm so excited. Okay. And besides maple syrup, I bought purple cabbage, fresh carrots to make spring rolls today. And speaking of spring rolls, today I used some vegetables, purple cabbage, carrots, iceberg lettuce, eggs. You fry that like pancake, and then you cut them into thin strips. Ham. This is a kind of, let me see, turkey breast. I also cut them into thin strips. And prawns. I bought the prawns from the stand on the way to Bridgewater. I'm so excited. I often think that we can buy seafood at the supermarket, but I bought them at the stand on the way to Bridgewater. And we also need, this is from Thailand, but it is a kind of Vietnamese vermicelli. It is the gift from my friend. And one thing we needed, rice paper. I bought it at Superstore, at the Asian store. I'm so excited about it. And I made some. And now I'd like to show you the inside. And now I'd like to demonstrate how to make a spring roll.
Jacqueline, those look beautiful, and I know they taste as good. You've got some extra ingredients in there. Just as Jacqueline's about to do the demo, I love the idea, and Marcella asked the question. She said, is it more expensive? I said, actually, you're buying on those sites almost directly from the fishermen. I see Mark nodding. We look for that opportunity because, in all honesty, you're buying directly from that supplier. So I love that you're taking that duty. Show us what you have, Jacqueline.
Okay, now I'd like to show you how to make the spring roll. You need a jar. Okay, it is a technique. Use warm water, and now put the rice paper inside. You have to wet the rice paper. It is one tip. And now, okay, let me show you. Put everything you like here. I'd like lettuce, so some lettuce here. I love purple cabbage, so some purple cabbage. I love the sweet of carrot, so some carrots here. A little rice vermicelli, some ham, some eggs, and cilantro. Now, prawn first. I'd like to show people the prawns. So put the prawns here. I cut the prawn into half. So it's easier for you to roll, right? And now fold the two sides. And now continue rolling. And then done. Very, very simple. Yeah. You can see it. And now it is very, very important. You need to have the dipping sauce. You need to make the dipping sauce. What do you need? I use two types of hoisin sauce. Two types. One is, let's see, vegetarian hoisin sauce, and another one is hoisin sauce only. All right. 1 tablespoon of vegetarian hoisin sauce, 1 tablespoon of hoisin sauce here. Peanut butter. I love peanut butter, so I use 3 tablespoons of peanut butters and 1 or 2 tablespoons of water. First of all, you have to cook, you have to boil the hoisin sauce with the water and add maybe half or 1 teaspoon of sesame oil if you love. And then after that, turn up the heat, put the peanut butter into it, mix them well, and some crunch peanut roasted peanuts if you love to, and some, let's say, hot chili sauce from Vietnam, but it is made from the United States. And then finally mix. Enjoy. Thank you for watching and listening. Do you have any questions?
I'm going to unmute and ask Mark because I know he's really wanting to make a comment.
It's beautiful.
Mark, go for it.
Exactly. Now, do you always use a square skin?
This kind of rice paper you are talking about, right? Yes.
Yeah.
This is the first time I use this kind of rice paper. Normally we have the round
Right.
rice
Using
paper.
12 inches, 8, 10 inches. You want something big enough so you can put enough food in it.
Yeah, but this kind of rice paper is very, very good for making spring rolls.
Mm.
Yeah.
I loved your trick with the warm water. That's perfect. That's like
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to use that. I'm stealing that one.
Yeah, Roz was behind us saying, Jacqueline, you never showed us that trick. She said, I'm stealing that.
Oh yeah,
This
perfect.
is why we do this.
Thank
Yay.
you. I'll just show you my end results on the oysters. See, the oysters are all
Thank you,
browned out.
Jacqueline.
Oysters have all browned up and are ready for service.
It looks, stand back just a little. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
the nice,
stunning.
yeah, the smell is really phenomenal. I'm sure I'd trade for one of those spring rolls though.
Right? So great breakfast. One of the things people often say, what do you eat on Sunday mornings? I'm like, everything I'm making. It really doesn't matter what time of day it is. It is just enjoyable. Food's meant to be enjoyed. So I'm going to go over, Jacqueline, thank you so much. Mark, we're going to, they just finished adding a few more things to the zucchini cannellonis, and they're looking better by the minute. So I'm going to pull together a little bit of a traditional sandwich. As I said, when you're traveling around Chile, and it's really a panini or a sandwich that we would often see at home, but very, very common. I want to call it a great vendor. There's a lot of great fresh bakeries, and especially in not just in the Patagonia region where we are in Puerto Natalos, but even in San Diego and previously when I've traveled in there, there's a lot of incredible bakers. So you'll see a lot of small shops. Unlike Canada, where we have a lot of large, what we would call grocery food market stores. There's a lot more smaller market stores, which I love to shop in because you get a little bit more personal and you see a lot more fresh ingredients. So this is a baker. Tell us a little bit that makes gluten-free. Tell us a little bit about his story that we went to get these
Well,
from.
this is a wonderful shop called Pidarum that belongs to a guy from Venezuela who has a beautiful story behind his arrival to Chile. Beautiful story. We could be talking the whole morning about him. And he brought wonderful products from Venezuela. All his shop is gluten-free and sugar-free. And I love that because we don't eat sugar nor gluten at home. I mean, some of us try. We do our best. And we add, yeah, see, he sells those packages like that with 6 pieces. I usually buy a whole bunch of them and put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
And then just put it in the toaster and eat it.
Yeah, and if you look, the thickness of them is perfect for making a lot. Yeah, seriously. And eating gluten-free, I have never had a better, especially like bun and to be able to use for anything. So there's the thickness. And they bake, they're great, non-toasted, they're wonderful toasted. We're gonna grill this on the panini. So this is a simple, so of course, Sergio's recipe for the mayonnaise that I'm yet to get all the ingredients on it from. So I put a nice amount of that. And really what we're gonna do, we're gonna use some of the really nice fresh salami meats. And not unlike we would have, where's that cheese? Do we put that cheese? Here's somewhere. Yeah. So I'm gonna put a nice layer of salami on that. And as I said, even in the, at the airport, in all this, you'll always see these type of sandwiches everywhere. So we're gonna put,
You can mix meats.
and you mix your type of meat. So we're gonna use some salami and we're using some turkey or chicken, I think this one is. So we're gonna layer that one up and there's a, grab me a basil. So I'm gonna put some basil in this one. So we're gonna put a little bit of this beautiful fresh cheese. The nice thing about this cheese is as they said, it's a really good melting cheese, as we say. So I'll put this in here and I think, oh, is the grill still on? That's all right. It'll be hot enough. Oh, can you smell it? Oh, basil. It's always good. We say, if we can finally get smell-o-vision, wouldn't it be great? We often put things up and say it. So I'm gonna put this on. And again, because we can, that beautiful mayonnaise, it's going on both sides. And I always say when you're doing this, get to the edge. Make sure you get your mayonnaise.
Be generous.
Be generous. This is not something that, you know, you want every bit of this on.
In Chile, we eat generously.
Good way to put it, right? So there this is. I'm going to put this into our grill. And while we're waiting for that to grill, I want to ask a question. Badir, we see you joined in from Morocco. Sometimes Badir surprises us and he has a dish that he's made. So Badir, did you have something that you were going to show off for us today? Or are you joining to have smiles? Is that you type? Yes, Scott. In the chat? All right, Scott, I see he's going. We're gonna have Marcella's gonna talk about her dish here. We want to know what questions anybody has. And we would say, love coming in. So we're here in Chile for a few reasons. And first of all, to come visit our incredible friend Marcella and her family. But one of the other things for Atlantic Canada Language Academy, along with many other schools, Mount St. Vincent University, Olton College, to support a 3+, the Tourism Industry Association for New Brunswick. And we're here for an educational and career conference. So one of the things we're going to be doing on March 22nd, next Tuesday, is we're going to be greeting about 80 local people, depending on what our numbers, and any Spanish speaking people from around the globe are welcome to join us for an incredible conference to learning about life and in Atlantic Canada and what the opportunities are for education and careers. But of course, we brought along with us a little bit of Briggs Maple, and each one of our guests are going to be receiving a little taste of Atlantic Canada, because we thought, what gift? We could give a pin, we could give a flag, but you know what we wanted to do is give a food memory. And that was very important to us so that we could share our place in the world with our guests from this place in the world. So we want to give an incredible thank you. Urban Joy. Angela is one of our major sponsors for this, and we're really thankful. In here is her wonderful Herbes de Provence de New Brunswick. So each one of our guests is going to be getting one of these packets with a recipe to make a beautiful roasted potato. As Marcella says, potatoes are very popular. So we're excited to show them just a little bit different way to spice up their potatoes, but to feel like they're getting a bit of a taste of Atlantic Canada. And I'm going to read the ingredients off for everybody because there's a key ingredient. We had that savory, Ross. Where did that go? Oh, right here. So the ingredients in this are thyme. Those of our regular washers, they know that's my favorite herb. Marjoram, savory, rosemary, tarragon, and lavender. And the really uniqueness, and then you have to hear herbes de Provence from France. So that definitely is something that is very traditional from a global standpoint. But we have an ingredient there that's savory. And it's very, very unique to our part in the world. Not that it can't grow in other places. It's just not commonly grown in other places. And I know, Mark, if you have anything to add to that after. So we've also brought down a few packages. This is at Farmer John's. It's a brand that we see all over Atlantic Canada. We have lots of it. Angela from Friday Farms, they grow a lot of it as well. But again, you're getting theirs in season, and then we usually buy it all. So, but this is readily available. You know, it's really nice. These are only, this size is only about $1.15 at our food stores here in Canada. So it's a nice and expensive and readily available spice. We've given a few of these out along the way, and we remind people that it smells really good on everything, but it's specifically excellent on poultry.
Yeah.
Is one of my favorite things. And I would never made a turkey dinner without making sure I have a really good amount of my summer savory. Mark, did you want to add something? Yeah, please.
Well, the traditional Acadian fricot, right? It's made with savory, summer savory. You can't do without it. And a good alternative if you're away from this part of the world, an Italian spice, just an Italian blend spice, usually gives you about the same flavor profile as savory does. Although savory is unique, I got to say.
It's every place in the world has some of those seasonings that are really unique to them. And I think that that's one of our one-to-ones in Atlantic Canada. I'm going to ask Marcella to step in here and share a few words about this absolutely incredible dish. It's a traditional Chilean dish. I can't pronounce the name of it properly, so I definitely need her support on that one. But I will tell you, and while she's doing that, I'm going to eat this incredible panini that we just made. This farmhouse blend seasoning that we have down here. So that was the other ingredient that we added in the other day. She made a bolognese sauce. What did you put? Plums? No, prunes.
Prunes.
She made an unbelievable bolognese sauce with some prunes in it.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, another tip. I would definitely repeat that at home. Rosalind's behind going, it was so delicious.
Just a few to give a different taste.
And it did, and it made the taste, I don't know, richer. It added a unique sweetness that you didn't expect in it with the balance in the seasoning. It was amazing.
A lot of earth tones. A lot of earth tones, right? From the pits of the dates. Beautiful. Nice job. Yeah.
Ah, fantastic. So Marcella, let's give us a share of this amazing dish.
Yeah, well, these beans, typical from the central area of Chile, far from here, 3,000 kilometers. Remember, Chile is very long and narrow. We mix it with corn. Okay, we make like a puree with corn, and we mix the beans with that. Albahaca, that's the name of it. Basil also. And we do like a little bit of we fry some onions and a little bit of peppers and chorizo. We use sweet chorizo with it. So we mix it, and usually the beans are very fresh if we buy it in the market. You can buy them dry also.
And those are
But
white beans.
these are white beans and fresh also. So they were delicious, and they are very good. You don't feel bad.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. And it eats like a really beautiful, hearty meal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, yeah, the flavors were spectacular. We're going to be posting the recipe.
What
for that
form
as
is
well.
what form is the corn in? Cornmeal?
Nope,
No, the corn is
no, full corn. When she
Okay.
was making the paste, she used a bit of cornmeal for the base, and then it's full corn, full kernels of corn.
Yeah, but I also use a little bit of the puree.
Right, yeah. She used a little bit of puree at the beginning.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Because it has such a nice consistency, right? It's got a
Mhm.
really nice thickness to it. I need a spoon.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna have avocado all over it. It's gonna clean. Everything I had food on. I'm like, I'm not gonna stick the avocado fork in there. So you see that it sits on your spoon really well, right?
Yeah.
So it almost eats a bit like we would say at home, like a stew.
Yeah, the
So
porridge.
the beautiful thing is, and I must say, look at that chorizo. Yeah, Mark, you can almost taste it and smell it, because I'm here to tell you, last night, the amount of different chorizo sausages that we had on the grill that her family did were absolutely amazing. So one last point that I want to make, and we're looking forward to next Sunday, is chicken. So there's going to be some incredible, and of course, chicken's wonderful. You can do anything with chicken, right? So, and chicken, I think, is one of those things all over the world that we're always going for. So as wide as Canada is, right? Chile is long. So remember, for our home in Canada, we're used to things going this way, and we have multiple time zones. Well, for Chile, it's a bit different because it's running straight down. And we feel that this is our twin at home in Atlantic Canada. This region does very much feel that, come on over here, Rose, does feel this way. We'll get everybody in here as we wrap up. And you know why? Because many times in Canada, we face this is people will come across and they'll say, we're doing a Canadian tour, but they only go to Toronto and Montreal. All of Atlantic Canada still exists. Well, the Patagonia region is one of the places that we really want you. And Marcel is going to tell you a little bit about a couple of the Tourism Association. They're sponsoring our upcoming event. We want to make sure that more people come here for a visit to taste and experience this region, because they often stop at Santiago and they don't keep going. So we feel that it's our twin in the world, like Atlantic Canada, and we want to continue to encourage people to make sure they do coast to coast. Now, coast to coast is funny for them.
Yeah.
Their entire coastline, their entire country is a coastline.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right? They have to go through Argentina to get to the other side.
Yeah.
But we are getting lots of visitors. Lots of people go, as Michelle said, to Santiago, but we have a big group of countries fan of Chile. One is Canada. We get lots of Canadian here. People from the United States, they love coming here. Hikers, we have wonderful parks with 2,600 meter high mountains, rocks to climb. Very famous Torres del Paine. You can look it up in the internet. Germans and Dutch people, they are fond of our country. So some people stay in Santiago and a central area because of the beaches. The water is a little bit colder than the Caribbean, but they are beautiful too. So you're all invited. Yeah, the tourism area, chamber is supporting us for our summit. So we're very happy.
Nice.
Sounds beautiful.
Maureen, hello from Ireland.
There she is.
Good to see you. Well, everybody, from our kitchen to yours, as we say each and every week, thank you so much for sharing this time. We hope you take the time to cook, share these recipes with your friends and your family. Enjoy the journey of what food brings to you. And we look forward to seeing you next week. I'm hoping Mark will come back and share some things throughout the year, or pop in on another one to see what's going on. And hopefully, Mark, you and I can do. I think Rochelle is cooking up. Rochelle is our great friend from the Bucktooth Farmers Market. And we want to give a shout out to all of those individuals, Angela, the Old Church Farmers Market, and all the ones around that support us year round, and Jacqueline, and for all of our friends and family in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia at the school. We love seeing those fresh local products. So we're going to go eat and enjoy a whole lot more of this. And to everybody at home that is having the wind and the rain, it is now absolutely sunny.
It's coming our way.
But do remember the temperatures here is, I think everybody thinks Rosalind and I are coming to the heat.
12 now.
It's 12 degrees and it'll probably only go up to 12 or 15. We just came, we're into fall. So it's fall here.
Right.
So so we have to remember as the equator shifts, it shifts down in the world. So
Right.
thank you, everybody, and have a fantastic week.
Pleasure to meet you. Have a good night.
Bye.
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 All right.
Great.